Hey folks, John with Alternate Arms, your friend in less than lethal self-defense. Tonight, we're going to answer a question that I got to be honest, even I'm kind of curious about. Let's get going. Now guys, I want to give you a little look at Stumpy here. Now, if you could take a look at this, check out the launchers on the table. Now, these are some of the big dogs, the heavy hitters, the 68 caliber monsters that we all see out in the field. And this isn't all of them. This just happens to be the selections of more of the recent ones. These are the ones that you're going to see that are going to have the most punch, the most power. And today we find out if they're also the most accurate. Because let me tell you what we're going to do. The average encounter range for a firearm is 3 to 5 meters. You guys have heard me say this 1,000 times. So 9 to 15 feet on average. You also know that when I test these out on the range, typically I test at the 20 to 25 foot range because I want to test them on the outside of the reasonable. And yet there are still those who are not satisfied and want me to go back even further. So today, we're going to get ridiculous. We're going to go way beyond the average range for these pistols, and we're going to see if I can even actually hit a target. I'm really curious about this. Now, a couple of things we're going to do, stipulations for this test. Obviously, the Pepperball TRP and the HDR68 would allow us to use shaped ammo. That would give an unfair advantage to those two particular launchers because the shaped ammo, they're stabilized and they create a spin, which is going to make them a little more accurate in the long run. However, what we want to do in order to make this completely fair is we're going to use the same kind of ammo on all of them, and to keep it universal, because we don't want to use Byrna brand because they're made for Byrna. We don't want to use the Grimburg jewels because they're made for Grimburg. We don't, I want to make sure that we're using something that's universal. We're going to use those 68 caliber QABs from Umarex, all right? Standard 68 caliber ball. They are weighing in, hang on a second here, at 3.5 grams, all right? So 3.5 grams per round on each one. We are not testing velocity. We are not testing impact. All we are testing is accuracy at extended range. Now, the next stipulation on this test, 1 magazine. That's all we're going to do. 1 magazine out of each one of them. And why? Because I don't want to be able to learn where they're hitting if they're a little strange. The only thing I'm ever going to get is the first round out. I can see where the first round hits and make any adjustments from there for accuracy. Beyond that, it is straight up. I want to see exactly what these are going to do. Now, next stipulation. These are as they come out of the box, all right? That means we have not turned up the Pepperball TRP to its full and maximum potential. It is as it came in the box. That's what we want to do because that will affect accuracy. Same thing with the salt supply, same thing with Grimburg. We haven't modified any of these, so no changes, straight out of the box. This still has the standard valve in it with the valve block at 7.5 joules. So there's nothing that is not stock about these out of the box, all right? So now that you got our rules, you know the ammo we're using, you know how many rounds we're going to fire in these, and you know what extended range. Let's take a look at exactly how far I'm talking about. Here we go. All right, folks, you guys can actually see we're on our range here. Please excuse the 3D printer noises. In fact, I'm going to pause that because it's kind of loud. There we go. Now, as you can see, we're on our range. Now, where you're sitting is our typical test range. So if from the target itself, we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you're 7 paces away, which is about 21 feet. This is normally the range we test at. Now, typically, you're looking at 3 to 5 meters, correct? We talked about that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. This is the long range, typically when you're going to be using a firearm. But oh no, that's not where we're testing today. So I have Stumpy set up over here, and Stumpy is actually recording directly on Scully over here to see if we actually get any hits. But we are going to go back. Here we go. back, 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 back. Please excuse all the messes here. Yep. We're going to shoot over the table. Can you still see? Yep, see him down there? Yep, y'all still see Scully down there? All right, now, I'm going to move this out of the way here. Yeah, you'll excuse the mess, guys. We have a trade show this weekend, so we're kind of getting ready for that. You see this little dot down here? See that dot? That is Scully. So this range, let's take a look at this. And I'm going to paste this off because, frankly, if I hit something, I'll be floored. Hang on. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20. So this is 60 feet away. 60 feet. This is a very, very long shot. So let me get all of the launchers loaded up. I'm going to set them back here, and I'm going to fire from behind the camera so you guys can see the shot. Hopefully I'll be able to actually target it. We'll find out. And then we'll be right back with you. Hang on a minute. All right, folks, so let's go ahead. We're going to start. There's no real particular order I picked on this, but we'll start with the HDR68. Now, once again, this is unmodded, so we're going to be firing unmodded here. I'm going to move you to the side, so hopefully I can get a shot, and you'll be able to see me aiming. If hopefully, yeah, it's going to be 50-50. All right, so we're going to give it a shot. Oh, hang on here. Got the glasses on first. Okay, here we go. Charged up the launcher. All right, so as you can see down there, from Scully's view, you can see this. We've got a purple, a white, and a white skull. I'm going to aim for the purple right off the bat just to see if I can even hit it. So here we go. All right. Test at 60 feet. All right, so that was 6 rounds. I have no idea if I hit anything. I know I did get a couple of ricochets, but at 7 joules, that doesn't really surprise me. Okay, yeah, I did not get any hits on this Scully. It looks like I may have hit him once. All right, so let's go a little higher power. Now, if I had modified that 68, it's going to have considerably more punch and more power. Might have affected that, but we'll find out here in a minute. All right. Let's go to my salt supply. All right, this is the salt supply S2. I've got a laser mounted to it, guys, but we are not going to use the laser. See that? All right, we're not going to use it. We're going to just fire it nice and clean like that with no laser. All right, glasses on. All right, here we go. Charged up, and let's give it a shot here. Always helps to put it on fire. There we go. Okay, so one thing I can tell you right off the bat, hang on a second here. All right, salt supplies do tend to fire about 4 inches high on target. So let me see if that theory holds correct. Hold on a second here. And we'll actually have Stumpy's replay on this because I do want to see, but I have a feeling that this is where we were hitting right in this area. So they do tend to fire 4 to 6 inches high. Now we know. Okay. Let's move on. By the way, this is really hard for me, guys, because I honestly cannot see where these rounds are going. So the concept of using the first round as a tester was great and all, but I can't actually see them. All right, let's go with the Byrna LE. Here we go. Now, guys, we're going to do this fairly. So we're going to put it on safe, charge the launcher, put it on fire. Okay, we're going to do that so that we're full power right off the bat. All right, glasses on. By the way, also, you're on a tripod. So I'm straddling this tripod, guys. This is not exactly a comfortable firing position, so please bear with me here. All right, so on the Byrna LE, see if we got any hits down here. And guys, that looks like that's aiming a little bit, well, okay. I stand corrected. We pegged him right in the center of his face. Okay, I know we had a couple that were high because I could feel that shot, but we nailed him right in the center of his head. All right, I'm going to turn him sideways because I do not want there to be a mistake on the next one. So let me put it like that. And let's see, the next one is the Grimburg Gavle. Now, guys, once again, we're at 60 feet. This is incredibly unrealistic for these things. So we'll see what we actually get out of it. You know what? Let's do the Gavle last. Hold on. Let's do our Pepperball TRP next. All right. So same deal, loaded with 5. Here we go, charging it up. All right. God, that trigger is so sensitive, guys. By the way, you see the little cloud here? Hold on a second. All right. When we were doing a wife fires earlier, we were using kind of a generic Pepperball round, and one of them actually ruptured in it, kind of like the Gavle when it just destroyed the round. So, oh, wow. Guys, we messed Scully up on that shot. So not only did we hit him multiple times. Look at that. So that was off of the Grimburg, but we had another one here. We hit it here when we flipped it around. Wow. Okay. All right. So let me turn on to a nice clean side, and we'll go with the Grimburg. Whew. All right. So far, the most accurate at 60 feet using this ammo has been the TRP. Okay. But we have a contender left. So let's go ahead and go with our Grimburg Gavle. Now, you guys know what this is. I don't think this needs any explanation. This is the most powerful launcher you can purchase off the line right out of the box. All right? So you twist this to actually puncture it. There you go. You hear it click. And we are ready to go. Guys, this is loud, by the way, just FYI. All right, we're going to try to hit Scully again. God dang. Wow. Guys, there's just no way to describe to you how loud that thing is. Holy cow. All right, glasses down. All right, so did we score any hits at that range? Once again, it looks like we were firing a little bit high. You could see that. These are interesting results. They really are. And actually, it's going to spawn a whole new series of tests, too, because it's given me a couple of ideas. But before we go any further, let's talk about what we found so far. Be right back. You know, guys, I would be 100% lying if I said I didn't love my job. I'm just saying, that is so much fun to do that. It really is. It's incredible. All right, so after going back through the Stumpy footage and kind of seeing where the rounds were hitting and kind of like that, out of the ones that are here, the unmodified HDR68 was obviously going to be the least accurate. Probably because when you're at 60 feet, unmodified, 7.5 joules, you're going to get a lot of drop in the round. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not powerful at that range. It just means that it needs to be modified. And of course, anybody that owns one of these ought to immediately delete the block. You already know that, and turn it into a formidable launcher. Now, for the second, we'll call this the 4th place runner-up. The 4th place runner-up for accuracy was actually kind of a tie between Salt Supply and Grimburg. Now, keep in mind, guys, once again, we were way out of what I would consider the standard range for any of these for self-defense scenario. I mean, like way out, like 3 times further. But I wanted to kind of get a feel for it. Now, in 2nd place, and this is sort of surprising to me, was our Byrna. Our Byrna LE. Now, the Byrna and the Pepperball were super close. In fact, the first round of the Byrna drilled Scully dead center of his face. That was very impressive. The only reason it was second and not first is because the TRP actually managed to hit multiple shots on Scully even once he turned. Now, I think that in a scenario where we were to test at, say, 30 feet, you would be hard-pressed to find any major difference between all of these, except to say that I know that the Byrna does shoot about 5 inches high, so you do have to lower down on that. Hence, the addition of a laser squares that situation away. It really does. This bears mentioning one more time, guys. The TRP trigger is like something I've never felt before. That is the lightest trigger I have ever felt. It almost surprises you when you pull the trigger. That's how light it is. Now, one other thing about this test I want you guys to keep in mind. Even though we were not pegging the nose of Scully on every single shot, like you've seen me do in the past at 15, 20, 25 feet, every one of those shots, and I mean all of them, were within center mass. So though we were not hitting a range of this big, we were hitting center mass of the target, which means you're going to connect with your target at that range. Which frankly, I was really surprised. Honestly, I didn't know what to expect, especially from the 68. I figured at 7.5 joules, we're gonna see more drop than that, but we just didn't. So all of them would have hit center mass at that range. And that's pretty impressive. So guys, this has been a really cool test. It got me to thinking that maybe what we need to do is, we know they're effective at 20 feet because you've seen me test them at 20 feet. You've seen a couple of these go completely through Scully at 20 feet. I'm thinking maybe we'll standardize our tests at 25 feet, maybe even 30. That's well outside of the standard range for self-defense, but if you're accurate at 25 to 30 feet, that's an amazing range. It really is, especially when you're dealing with something like this. So yeah, this was a lot of fun. But honestly, guys, I think this one would have fared a whole lot better had I done the mod first. But once again, this is an out-of-the-box test. That's what we're shooting for. We will repeat the test, and we will do it at 30 feet probably on the next one using Grimburg joules, because those are 8-gram rounds, which might alleviate some of that 5-inch height on this one. But I think also it's going to give us a lot more impact on the other side. So we'll definitely test that one out. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Do you remember on the last video I kind of teased you about the what do you do if you're just a terrible shot? Well, that video is coming next. It's a company called Warriorland, and they said they've got that covered. They are going to take care of us on that. So one last thing, I am looking for a belly band holster. If anybody out there knows anybody, I've already been in contact with GGH and with Vanish and a couple other people too, to send in some more holsters so that we can actually get these tested and identify a good one for less than lethal. But if any of you guys have any ideas, please feel free to shoot me an email and I'll reach out to the companies and hopefully we can get some in here for you. So my goal is to give you guys what you need when you're picking your self-defense options. That's what we're shooting for. Have a fantastic night, guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.